It is no secret to longtime fans of the channel that trading card games have been a big influence in my life, both on and off the channel. In this series, both DemonBattler and myself will be opening 24 packs, or one box, of each core Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set in chronological order. After each opening, we will build decks from all of the cards we have opened thus far, then duel each other in a best-of-3 match with 3 prizes up for grabs to improve our decks. The winner will receive 2 of those prizes, and the loser will get 1. The possibilities for prizes are almost limitless, including single cards, sealed product, structure decks, and much more. Every card in the entire game's history will be obtainable in some form. However, neither of us will be able to rest on past laurels easily. The ever-changing official Forbidden and Limited list, our own choices of cards to be banished to the Shadow Realm, and even changes to the very rules of the game will keep our decks and duels fresh. This is yet another Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Cosmo Blazer was released January 25th, 2013. This set introduced the Fire Fist archetype, a Beast Warrior-focused archetype built around rank 3 and rank 4 plays enabled by the Fire Formation spell and trap cards. Almost every Fire Fist floats into a Fire Formation card. This set also introduced the Hazy Flame archetype, a fire-based rank 6 focused archetype built around the Xyz monster, Hazy Flame Basiltress. This set also introduces new support for the Blackwing, Ga-Ga-Ga, Mermail, Noble Knight, and Prophecy archetypes. So this is a little bit on the weaker side for Progression series because a lot of the big support is at high rarity, but we do have a couple of low rarity archetypes such as Hazy Flame to go over, and I'd like to start with the Hazy Flames. These won't be great now, but they'll be a lot better once we have a Pendulum summoning available in just a couple of years. So the first ones I'd like to go over are Hazy Flame Cerberus, which is a level 6 normal summon that becomes 1k, can't be targeted by card effects, and it adds when it is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. So this is one of the big ways that you'll be able to get advantage. And then Hazy Flame Griffin is a special summon from your hand if your opponent controls a monster and you're basically playing nothing but fire monsters, which is going to be the case if you're playing Hazy Flame. It is a special summon. Note that you can special summon this while you control a monster, so it is not like Cyber Dragon. This special summon is also not once per turn, so it's very easy to go into rank 6s. It can't be targeted by card effects, but it is a defender rather than an attacker. And then Hazy Flame Sphinx can't be targeted as well. And this is mostly just for the name and being able to have enough cards for the archetype, but this will probably be played as a one-of in the deck. Leotor is an interesting one. This is a Beast Warrior, which is relevant for a lot of the archetypes in the set. It's 2k when it battles a non-normal monster, and that's attacking or being attacked. And 2k is still quite a bit. And then we get to the most important common in the set. We have Fire Formation Tensu, which is still good, but it's not super important. This gives you an extra normal summon of a Beast Warrior monster, but the big common that we're going to be looking for, and one that we'll see play for the rest of the Progression series, is Fire Formation Tenki. This is reinforcement of the army for level 4 or lower Beast Warrior monsters. So it's a continuous spell as well, and it adds 100 to all of your Beast Warrior monsters. This card is very strong and has been all over the FNL list. Next, for the Hazy Flame archetype, we have Hazy Pillar. This will let you normal summon Hazy Flame monsters for 1 less tribute, meaning that all of your level 6s become normal summons, and they are quite big. It has another effect that allows you to attach Hazy Flame monsters as Xyz material, which is quite relevant for their boss, and we'll get to that boss in a little bit. And then the final comment I'd like to go over is March of the Monarchs. This is going to be very powerful if we do decide to bring the Monarchs back. We're still waiting on a couple of cards that truly make Monarch terrifying, like Stormforth. But March of the Monarchs enables tribute summon monsters you control to be untargetable and indestructible by card effects, but it does completely lock you out of the extra deck. Next at the rare slot, we have a lot of the Fire Fist support. One of the good cards in that is going to be Gorilla. Gorilla is a 1600 that will set a fire formation from your deck when it destroys a monster by battle and sent to the graveyard, and then you can send a fire formation spell trap you control to the graveyard to destroy any spell trap on the field. 1600 is quite large too. We're going to want multiple copies of this to be able to play Fire Fist. Now, Hazy Flame Periton is a little bit awkward because it's required to be special summoned by a Hazy Flame, but it's something that you'll want to play within the archetype because that deck has a lot of ways to special summon. Now, Hazy Flame Basiltris is the big payoff for playing Hazy Flame. This is a rank 6 that is going to get very, very powerful once we get to a Duelist Alliance and we have access to Pendulum monsters, because this is an Xyz that requires level 6 fires specifically, but it gets better the more materials it has. If you can summon this with 5 materials, it's a 3500 that can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. Hazy Flame Manticore is another name for the archetype, and it's big too. 2200 is pretty strong. And then it has a quick effect that prevents it from being destroyed by card effects if you send a fire monster from your hand or face up from your side of the field to the graveyard. So it's quite good, at least in archetype. 2200 is a little small, but it is one of the largest monsters in the archetype. The next rare that's very important is Crimson Blader. This is a generic Synchro 8 that it's big, it's 2800, and then if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle and is sent to the graveyard, your opponent cannot normal summon or special summon level 5 or higher monsters during their next turn. Depending on the archetype that you're playing, this very well can lock your opponent out of the game. And then the last rare I'd like to go over is Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Spirit. This is their in-house tuner that's used to summon their Synchro monster that we'll get to when we go over the high rarity cards. This can only be used to Synchro summon Beast Warrior monsters. You can special summon a level 3 fire monster with 200 or less defense in your graveyard, which many of the Fire Fist monsters do, and then it locks you into attacking with only Beast Warrior monsters. This is very good for making Synchro plays as well as Xyz plays. And then we have a lot of very strong super rares in this set, mostly Fire Fist stuff. It's all Fire Fist stuff that's interesting for the progression series. There are 4 Fire Fist cards we'll be looking at specifically. There are 3 Fire Fist cards that we're going to be looking at specifically. We're going to be looking at Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Dragon, which when you activate a spell trap once per turn, you can set a fire formation trap from your deck. It's 1800, which is really big. And then this lets you get a lot of fire formation cards into rotation, which is something that some of its payoffs like to do. And then Horse Prince is a really big add for the Fire Fist archetype. This requires a fire tuner specifically, but the non-tuner can be generic. Once it is synchro summoned, you can special summon a level 3 fire monster from your deck, and then you're unable to special summon level 5 or higher monsters for the rest of the turn, but that's not going to be a big deal because you're usually going to use this to go into some Xyz monster. And speaking of Xyz monsters, we have Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Lion Emperor. This is a rank 3 that requires fire monsters specifically, and then once per turn you can detach an Xyz material to add a fire monster from your graveyard to your hand, but you cannot normal summon or special summon monsters with that name for the rest of the turn. Now, there's not too much high rarity to discuss because a lot of these Xyz are very archetype specific or are extremely difficult to summon, such as number 53 Hard Earth, which requires 3 level 5s, and it's generally not worth it. But we have a lot of important cards as well. The big 4 I'd like to talk about at the ultra rare slot begins with Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Bear. To be able to play Fire Fist, you need at least one of this card. This is their big normal summon. It's a 1600 that when it inflicts battle damage, you can set a fire formation spell directly from your deck. This search is tanky, and you can activate it in your main phase too. It also destroys monsters by sending a fire formation spell traps you control to the grave, which is very, very strong because most of the fire formation spell traps have something that they do on activation and then they just sit there. Tiger King is their big rank 4. This requires Beast Warriors specifically. This searches a fire formation spell trap from your deck when it's Xyz summoned, and oh boy is this card powerful. If we get this card, we're going to be pretty heavily inclined to play Fire Fist. A Lightning Chidori is a generic, it's not quite generic, but if you're playing Winds, you're going to want to put this in your extra deck. This requires 2 level 4 winds specifically, and on Xyz Summon, you get to target a set card your opponent controls and put it on the bottom of the deck, and then you can detach an Xyz material to target a face-up card your opponent controls and put it on top of the deck. This can be a huge tempo swing, but you do need to be playing winds to be able to play this. And then the last card I'd like to discuss at the ultra rare slot is Breakthrough Skill. This card is very, very powerful, still sees play today. On activation, you target a face-up effect monster your opponent controls. While it's face-up, it has its effects negated this turn, and then it has a graveyard effect to repeat that. So if we get this card, we'll be pretty inclined to play it. It's almost like Effect Veiler, but you can't activate it out of the hand. And it has a second activation as well from the graveyard. So this is one of those graveyard tricks that we're going to need to track. Now the secret rare slot isn't too great, but it does have one card I'd like to discuss, and that's Diamond Direwolf. This is a generic rank 4 that is 2k, so it's not huge, but it's still got a lot of utility, especially if you're playing Fire Fist, because all of Fire Fist is Beast Warriors. This is also going to be very good in Blackwing because of all of the winged beasts that are played as well. So it's a 2k generic rank 4 that once per turn you can detach an Xyz material, then target a beast, beast warrior, or winged beast type monster you control and one other card on the field and destroy them. There was also a new organized play pack that was released. Astral Pack 1 came to local game stores on November 23rd, 2012. And this pack is kind of lackluster. There's not very many good cards, especially at the common slot. The biggest common is probably Closed Forest. A Closed Forest is noteworthy for locking out other field spells. The attack boost is cute if you're playing a beast type deck, but the big reason why you're playing Closed Forest is to prevent field spells from being activated. And then at the super rare slot, we don't have a ton. We have Kagemusha, but I think we have those. If we don't have them, then Demon certainly has them by now. Hidden Armory is sweet, though. In exchange for your normal summon and milling the top card, you get to add an equip spell from your deck or your graveyard to your hand. This is one of the big reasons why Konami has to be very, very careful about printing equip spells that are extremely powerful, because Hidden Armory is a very good way to search for them. Depending on how many equip spells we have, this may be worth it to put in our deck just to be able to search cards like Premature Burial. And then the only other card that's super noteworthy is at the Ultimate Rare slot. It is Debris Dragon. It is an Ultimate Rare, so it's very unlikely that we get it, but we only pulled one Debris Dragon, and Debris Dragon is going to be very powerful for making rank 4s. Alright, Cosmo Blazer. This is the calm before the storm. There's not a ton of amazing cards in this set, but there are a lot of important generic cards that are at fairly low rarity that we should be able to snag. But this is a prelude to the next set, but that's for another episode. Before we get to Cosmo Blazer, though, we do have 3 packs of Astral Pack 1. I don't think there's too much I'm excited about. It's mostly Closed Forest and some of the Ultimate Rares, but we'll see if we get anything special. We did get a Hidden Armory. Hidden Armory's pretty strong, so I will be very happy to add that to our collection. That's one of the few super rares in this set that I am excited to see. So let's move on to our second pack. We got a Centipede, but without Hornet, we won't be able to play Insector. These other 2 cards are terrible. And then the last pack is a Fire Dog, and we did get a Closed Forest. That's pretty important. So now we'll move on to the main set, 24 packs of Cosmo Blazer. I've got a few rares I'm looking for. Fire Fist is pretty high rarity. It's not impossible like Mermail is, but Fire Fist is high enough rarity that we probably won't be playing it. But let's go ahead and move to our first pack. And there's a Griffin. I guess Tensen's okay, but nothing too special in this pack. 7 packs in, and we still have not seen a holo. We have also not seen a single tanky. Manticore's cool for Hazy Flame, but I don't think Hazy Flame is going to be where I would like it to be in terms of playability until we get to the ability to Pendulum Summon. And there is our first holo. It is not a great holo. It is our Torrigus, King of the Noble Knights. I believe this is an in for Noble Knight support. Yes, this requires 2 level 4 Noble Knight monsters. I do not need to read. That is one of the worst holos we could have gotten. We did get the Basiltrist, though. Now Hazy Flame is on the table. I don't think it's good now, but Hazy Flame is on the table now. There's another Gorilla. There's also a Hazy Pillar for the Hazy Flame archetype. And there's a Tanky. Finally, I was really worried about not getting Tanky. It's a common! Come on! This is a card I would really like to have multiples of, but it does go all over the FNL list. So if we don't get a playset, it's not the biggest deal. Are you kidding me? A second King of the Noble Knights? That is the worst Ultra we could pull. There is absolutely no way that we are going to play this. And the rest of these cards, except Cerberus. Cerberus is okay. That is our first Cerberus, and it is a common, so hopefully we can get the rest of them, but wow, what a disappointing Ultra. There's another Tanky, another Hazy Pillar, another Cerberus. I guess this pack's okay. Seeing another Tanky is good, though. Another Basiltris. The second Basiltris isn't super important. You just want to have one for the extra deck. There's a super rare. It's not a great super rare. It is Ga Draw. This is kind of like Pot of Avarice for the Ga archetype, so if we do wind up with a critical mass of them, we will play it. That's also our first copy of March of the Monarchs, 16 packs in. Slacker Magician's interesting. I believe this is our first rank 1, but I do not believe we really have a level 1 engine. And there's a super rare. Unfortunately, it is a Prophecy super rare, so we will not even need to talk about that because Prophecy is way too high rarity for this set. There's our third Gorilla, and we did get a super rare. It is Mermail Abyss Trite. Unfortunately, Mermail is just too high rarity for our series. But I will take a third Gorilla. We still need to hit a Bear or a Tiger King or just any of the extra deck monsters to really be able to play Fire Fist. Second March of the Monarchs. That's good if we do want to bring the Monarch deck back. And I think we will. I think we really just need Stormforth. Once Stormforth gets printed, then we can start playing Monarch again. Alright, so only 3 packs left, and we've pulled a bunch of pretty much nothing out of here. We don't even have a full playset of Tanky yet. I'd like to see one more Tanky in the last 3 packs and one nice hit. We also haven't seen Crimson Blader yet, which is very important. And speak of Crimson Blader, pack 22, and we got the third Tanky. That is just about all I wanted. We did also get another Sphinx. That brings us up to 3. And the rest of these cards aren't really too relevant, but we did get the 2 things that I was looking for. A good holo would be a bonus, but I'm not expecting too much. This is nothing important either. And then for our very last pack, see what we wind up with in the close. Can I get one good holo, please? That is not a good holo. That is Brushfire Knight. But overall, this is about what I expected. The set is very top-heavy. And with the new bands that we have from the last episode, I've got to come up with something different. I've got a couple ideas, but we will see what I wind up coming up with. See you in deck building. So I bet you weren't expecting me to play something like this post-ban. Even with the tins, I was looking forward to playing this, but I didn't quite think we had the stuff to make this work. We do just barely, and I'm not super thrilled with the list, but I think this is about as good as it's going to get. This is Dino Rabbit, at least by Progression Series standards. It doesn't look too competent, but we're going to give this a try. So what this is trying to do is it's trying to get to Rescue Rabbit to make very powerful Bossic Zs in the forms of Evilzar Dulka and Evilzar Logia. This is a rank 3 and rank 4 spam deck that I'll go through the card by card. We have 3 copies of Elementsaurus. This is mostly in here because of its type, and because most of our Evol monsters are fire. The vast majority of our monsters in this deck are fire, so this will be a 2k attacker, which is not bad since most of the time dinosaurs are just gonna go big numbers rawr. Double Evilsaur Serato. I still can't believe we pulled 2 of this. This is an ultra rare, by the way. So this card is very, very powerful in the archetype. It's a 1900 normal summon that if it gets special summoned by an Evil tile, you can add Evil tiles from your deck to your hand. 1 copy of Diplo, 2 copies of Elias, and 2 copies of Terias. These are not great targets, but we do need to play enough of these to be able to make the payoffs for the small rank 6 package that we have in the deck. And then 3 copies of Westlow. This is a super rare that I crafted multiple copies of. On flip summon, this special summons an Evilsaur from our deck, which lets us get to either one of our 6s to make our Insect or Exabeetle, which is our rank 6, or we can get into a Serato or a Diplo for rank 4 plays. And then one of the aforementioned Rescue Rabbit, one Sandgan, one Summoner Monk for rank 4 plays, one Witch of the Black Forest, and then 3 copies of Sabersaurus to make rank 4s, and 3 copies of, I kid you not, Mammoth Graveyard. I checked our cards. We do not have 3 copies of Two-Headed King Rex. We do not have 3 copies of Urabi. So I needed to improvise a little bit, and just in case we have drawn multiples of our Sabersaurus, we can Rescue Rabbit into Mammoth Graveyard to make a rank 3. It's not ideal, but we do need to have 2 sets of normal monsters to be able to make Rescue Rabbit live. And then for the spells, we have 1 Gold Sarcophagus, 1 Mind Control. We haven't seen too much of Mind Control. This is mostly going to be used as removal for boss monsters, such as Synchro monsters, to be able to tribute summon over for our Evilsaur monsters, rather. We can also use this to grab one of our opponent's monsters for Xyz plays. Double MST, Pot of Greed, Premature Burial, Smashing Ground, and then for the traps, we have a lot of traps. The idea of this deck to be able to buy us time to get to our boss monsters is to play so much back row that we can overload our opponent's answers. Double Call of the Haunted, 1 Dark Bribe, double Mirror Force. I am so happy to be able to play 2 copies of Mirror Force now. I am very excited to be able to get this out there and hopefully blow Demon out with it, because he does not know that we have a 2nd copy of Mirror Force. A double Prideful Roar. This is new. One of the big issues that I have with this deck is that this deck has a lot of difficulty at getting over large monsters. Anything more than 2300 is very difficult for us to handle. So we have 2 copies of Prideful Roar, which will let us always win combat, and there is absolutely no way that Demon is going to see this coming. 1 copy of Ring of Destruction, 1 Solemn Judgment, 1 Solemn Warning, and double Torrential Tribute rounding out the main deck. For the side deck, we have triple Consecrated Light for the Blackwing matchup, we have Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos for the graveyard decks, double Prohibition for Unfair Things, a 2nd Smashing Ground, a 3rd Call of the Haunted, Grave of the Super Ancient Organism to be able to deal with Synchro monsters, and triple Threatening Roar if we're up against very fast decks. Then the extra, since we don't have to worry about Chimera Tech and Overload Fusion being banned, that's freed up a spot in our extra deck. We have a few Synchros in here in case we Mind Control our opponent's tuner. We have double Black Rose, Goyo Guardian, which is going to get its errata soon, so this will come out of our extra deck fairly quickly. 1 Orient Dragon and then 1 Stardust in case we can make it 8. And then for the Xyz, we have double Dolka and Logia. These are going to be the Xyz that we go into most often. Dolka is a double Effect Negate on a 2400, and Logia is a Walking Solemn Judgment. Demon does not know that I have Logia either, because he took the tin that had Logia in it, but as of now he is unaware that I previously crafted an Evilzar Logia. And then for the rest of the Xyz that we probably won't go into, but they could come up, we have a Fairy King Alverdish, number 39 Utopia, Photon Papilloperative for the 4s. We have number 96 Dark Mist, which I don't think our deck can make, but it could possibly come up. Alverdish is the rank 4, Exabeetle is our rank 6, and we have Leviar to recycle Banished Rescue Rabbits, number 17 Leviathan Dragon in case we need another rank 3. I am super excited to play this deck, and hopefully we can get a win with it. I'm not super confident in it, it's a little shaky, but I really don't want to play any of my other decks this episode, and I want to give this a try before our format devolves into just the complete and utter degeneracy that is Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, which is next episode. I hope you're ready to high-five the sky, because it's time to duel. We are almost at the end of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ready for the very last match before the end of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what this is going to be, is it's going to be the end of Yu-Gi-Oh! As we know it.
Or, will probably not be the last time at that.
I mean, how many times have we had the end of Yu-Gi-Oh? I think this is the third time. I think this is the 3rd time in Prague that we've had the end of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Something like that.
It's been a lot.
Ooh.
That's a great start.
That's not good for me.
I will take the play while we still have first turn draw. Good luck, duelist.
Good luck.
I will draw for the turn, proceed to the standby phase, proceed to the main phase. I am going to start the game by setting a pair.
Interesting. Alright. I'll draw. Stand by main. Good way to start the turn.
Seems reasonable.
Ooh, okay. Let's see. The question is, what the hell you have said? Do I want to... The question is, do I want to get greedy now? You only have one face down. You know what? Why not? If it's a torrential, it's a torrential. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm going to start by activating Reinforcement of the Army.
Back on... Well, Rhoda doesn't really tell me anything. Rhoda's just a good card. That's fine.
Let's see. I think... Well, Rhoda's not going to tell you anything, but this sure as hell will. I'm going to add Legendary 6 Samurai Kizan.
Ah, finally on the Sams, are you?
You have no idea how many wild cards I had to burn to get this running. I'm going to activate 6 Samurai United.
That's reasonable. Alright, time for me to lose a bunch of episodes now.
Yep. Time to activate Smoke Tingle.
Yep.
We will add Kageki to my hand.
Well, here we go.
I will normal summon Kageki.
On summon, I'm gonna space the 6 Samurai United.
Ooh, okay. I will special summon my Kagemusha.
Alright, well, here we go.
I will special summon Grandmaster.
Gross, dude.
I will special summon Kizan.
Am I dead?
I don't think you're dead, but I will summon out my Shien.
Sure, yup. I mean, that card is very fair.
Battle. 21 in.
It's Westlow.
Westlow. Evil Tiles. What the? Oh, this is interesting.
What do I get with this is the question. I'll just get Elias effect.
Right.
I just want to put things in front of my face.
Fair enough. Wait, what the hell? Wait a second.
It's 1900 if you special it.
Okay, that's weird that... Oh no, it only loses it if it's special summoned by an evil tile.
It was. Oh wait, no,
No.
it wasn't. It wasn't. You're right.
Okay, that is weird. That is
yeah,
like anti-synergy. What the hell?
Okay. Yeah, let's put that in attack then.
Okay, that is odd.
Reading cards!
Alright, well, I guess Shien will just have to clear into the Terius.
Sure, I take 100.
I'm actually really surprised that it loses power if it's summoned that way. Like, you would think it'd be the opposite. Alright, anyway. Main 2, I'll pass the turn.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. How do I beat Shien?
Now look who's digging through the extra deck.
How do I beat Shien is the question. I think I know how I beat Shien. I'm gonna normal summon Summoner Monk effect. Oh, I know how to read. Why is this deck so bricky?
Alright, draw, stand by main. Fortunately, that does not help me as much as I would like. I'm going to run out my Witch of the Black Forest.
Yep.
Battle phase. Kizan into the Summoner Monk.
That's fine.
Shien will hit into Elias.
And then 32.
Main phase 2, I will set one card and pass it to you.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase, and Shien is just too big. I mean, that's what Shien does.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it does.
It makes Shien so consistently, too.
Yeah, there's a reason Shien ended up getting limited real quick on the list.
I'm just going to set a bunch of cards.
Alright. Draw. Standby. Main. I think I'm just going to set a card and set another card and set a third, and I'll pass.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. Westlow.
Westlow. That's good.
Westlow.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, you're using it, effect.
Westlow effect.
Chain Maxi.
Maxi is fine. I'm gonna grab Diplo.
Right, so I will draw.
Diplo effect. Target that.
That is fine. It is my Musakani Magatama.
Okay, that's fine. And you're gonna laugh at this next card. You're gonna laugh so hard. I'm gonna normal summon Mammoth Graveyard.
Mammoth Graveyard. Okay, that's interesting.
Overlay.
Not gonna lie, I actually forgot Mammoth Graveyard was in the core set Legend of Blue Eyes and not just the Yugi deck.
It's gonna be Leviathan. You're gonna draw a card.
Alright.
I'll detach Westlow.
Okay, so it's 25.
Battle.
Alright.
25.
It is my witch.
Sure.
So I will get a monster.
That's fine.
Question is, who do I want to get? I think I'm going to get my Keyzon.
I figured. 16.
Alright. 16 in.
Main 2, I'm just gonna pass.
Okay. During the end phase, let's go fishing. We're gonna MST, target the back row. Middle.
Kidding me. Just warning.
Ooh, I got a good one. Alright, draw. Standby main. That's even better.
I mean,
I will-
Shien still the... that's fine. Shien still doesn't out Leviathan Dragon.
It doesn't, which is kind of a problem. Let's see. I could... Okay, that actually could be a thing. Question is, do I want to do that thing? Well, I kind of feel like I have to. Well, I say I feel like I have to, but that probably wouldn't be a good idea. Yeah, I feel like I probably should. I'm going to add Kagemusha, the Six Samurai.
Yup. I mean, obvious Shien is obvious.
Unfortunately, not necessarily. I'm going to run out my Kagemusha, the Six Samurai.
Sure, show me your million special summons you have in your hand. There's
I have
one.
my Keyzon.
So
and
that
then-
makes Goyo, I guess?
It does make Goyo.
Goyo Guardian's fine.
Then, do I want to do that? Is the question. Well, I feel like I have to. Alright, I'm gonna banish Kagemusha and Keyzon.
Oh, you have a Nishi?
I have Inishi, Shien's Chancellor.
Have you normal summoned yet? I think you have.
Yes, I
Yeah,
did. It was Kagemusha.
I'm gonna torrential this.
Okay.
I'm not super happy about it, but
And I will have to pass.
card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. 64. Normal Serato.
Okay.
Call of the Haunted for Diplo.
I'm going to maxi that.
Sure, that's fine. Battle 16 and 19.
So, okay, so 35.
Main phase 2. Lagia.
Lagia. Okay.
You will get to draw off Maxi, unfortunately. Then I'm going to pass the turn.
Okay. Draw. Standby, main.
Couldn't keep me off Lagia, could you?
No, I couldn't, unfortunately.
That
I
was
was going to make this a challenge.
That was a craft pretty early on.
I'm not surprised. Let's see.
Like, Lagia is disgusting.
Trying to think of how I can do this. Or if I can even do this. I'm going to set a few cards and pass the turn.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. Normal Witch of the Black Forest.
Okay.
Let's go to battle.
Alright.
I am going to hit with Lagia into your set.
That is my Sangin.
Sangin's fine.
Alright. Who do I want to add? This is really a tough one. I'm going to add my Elder of the Six Samurai to my hand.
Seems okay. And then 11 direct.
Okay. 11 direct.
Main 2, I'm going to set an additional card. And shift the turn.
In phase, I will MST that.
It's call.
Okay. Draw. Standby, main. Ooh, that's not bad.
Boy, isn't it great for that card to be at multiple copies.
Okay, so because you have a monster and I don't,
Yep. That's an Elder.
then I'm going to summon out my Kageki.
Kageki is fine.
Uses effect.
Yeah, Kageki's fine.
Bring out Zanji.
That is... Wow, that's rough. Wow, this sucks.
Is the summon of Zanji good?
You have one back row? I mean, the Zanji's going to kill... The Zanji is going to kill the Logia is the issue through combat. Unfortunately, I think I have to Logia the Zanji.
Okay, that will be fine. I will activate Asceticism of the Six Samurai, targeting Elder.
Yup. I knew it was bait, but there's not much I could do about it.
Well, the nice thing is that, like, if I needed to, I could have chained Asceticism to Zanji and get a Keyzon out.
Yup.
Just as a backup, but I needed to find a way to get rid of those materials just for safety.
Yeah, there really wasn't a lot I could do because you're gonna get to Shien either way. This just makes you exhaust more materials to get to Shien.
True. Let's see. Question now. See, this is a tough question, really. You're on one card plus whatever, which will give you when it dies. As much as I don't like... Okay, it's a bit greedy, but I think I have to go for it. I'm going to sink off for an 8.
What 8 are you making?
I'm going to make... Oh! Actually, okay, I was going to make something else, but I could actually make Thought Ruler and give myself a little bit of a life point boost.
Oh, that's actually sick.
Okay, so yeah, let's do that. Let's knock over the Logia.
I take 3, you'll gain 24, which is huge.
That actually helps quite a bit, not gonna lie. Main phase 2, I will set one card and I will throw it to you.
Card for turn, standby phase, main phase. I have Smashing Ground for the Thought Ruler.
And unfortunately, it does not
target. That does not target.
So, but that actually means that I'm actually really glad I did that then, instead of my other choice, which was just going to be pure Unga Bunga.
Go to battle.
All right.
11.
So 11 in.
Go ahead. Very simplified game state we have here.
Yes, it is. And that is not quite what I wanted to see.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. Battle.
Yep.
11.
Another 11 in.
Main 2, I'll set one. Go ahead.
Alright. Draw. Standby main. Thank God, that is probably the best card I could have drawn.
That's gross.
Let's see what I get.
Where's mine?
Ooh, actually, that kind of helps a lot. Well, okay, it helps a lot, but it's not enough to actually do anything. Let's see, you have one Solemn in there. I cannot remember if Solemn... Wait, no. You have Judgment.
Yeah, Warning...
That matters.
Yeah, Warning is limited.
Oh, God, I really don't want to do that.
At least I think Warning is limited at this point.
It might be, but I honestly don't remember.
I know Judgment is. I know Judgment's limited. So you don't have to worry about more than one of those.
I guess I gotta put you on Gotta Have It. I'm gonna summon out Kagemusha the Six Samurai.
You got it.
I will Asceticism.
You got it.
I will bring out another Elder.
Yep, here he comes. Sure.
Okay, not gonna lie, I did not think to get this. I did not think I was gonna get this far.
I didn't. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but the Shien is gonna stick.
All right,
14.
so let's get the 6. Yep.
14 in. Boop, 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 boop. Which dies? You probably know what's coming.
Ah, god damn that thing.
If I'm playing dinosaurs, why wouldn't I be playing Derp Rabbit?
Good point.
Card for turn. Standby phase. Main phase. Well, I'm gonna make you use it.
Yeah, I have to, because... Yeah, you can't attack with it, but it just means you pull over your second Logia.
Rabbit.
Rabbit just murder me.
Okay, Rabbit.
Alright.
Rabbit effect.
I guess the question is it Sabersaurus or Cobblezols?
It is going to be Sabers. Then we are going to
overlay. Mammoth Graveyard.
We are going to overlay for Utopia.
Oh right, I forgot you had that thing.
Then I'm gonna go to battle, and I'm gonna attempt to crash with the Shien.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't like that, but...
Main 2, I'll set 1, go ahead.
Alright. Draw.
And you said the Xyz rule wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Well... Unfortunately, I don't have enough to cover it.
Content! I was not expecting to get this far.
Alright, let's take the play.
You being on the play is scary, though.
It is. Okay, so draw. Standby main. Let's see. What do I want to do to begin with?
The question is more, what is your path to Shien?
Yeah, that's the real one.
It's not the question of whether you can make Shien, it's what is your path to Shien, because that deck is ridiculously consistent.
Okay. I'm going to start by setting a card, and then I'm going to summon out my 6 Samurai Zanji.
That's a Zanji.
I'm going to just pass.
Yeah, that does not look like Shien. Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase.
I wish I could Shien right now, but I can't.
Serato.
Serato. Okay. Alright. So, Serato's good.
Mindcon.
Ooh. Yeah, that's good. So that'll go there. On resolution, I'm maxing.
Yeah, that's fine. You can get a card. Just what rank 4 do I want to go into? Obviously, I can't make Logia, but I think I'm just gonna make Utopia, and you can draw your card.
All right.
Battle.
25 in.
25. Main 2, I'm gonna set a pair. Go ahead.
During the end phase, let's hit this one.
That's Call of the Haunted.
Okay. Draw. Standby, main. Of course you get there now. Well, okay. Actually, that's not the worst thing in the world, I guess? Actually, it kind of is. Shit. This is going to be a tough one.
2500 specifically is difficult for Sams to get over.
It kind of is. I'm going to run out my 6 Samurai Kizan.
Kizan's fine.
I will special summon Grandmaster.
Boo, 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 boo. Yeah, Grandmaster's okay.
I will set a card, and I will pass the turn.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. Let's go straight to battle.
Okay.
I'm just gonna run over the Grandmaster for 400.
I'm going to Magic Cylinder that.
That is fine. I'm going to ship the turn.
Alright. Draw. Standby main. Okay, that's actually not that bad. That's not the worst. Fortunately, I can't make use of it at the moment. Question is, what can I do? That does actually open up a door for me. And that actually would be kind of funny. So here's what I'm gonna do. And you're probably gonna be surprised by this. I'm gonna normal summon Junk Synchron.
That's not a 6 Samurai tuner.
No, but what it is a recursion with my Max C. But
wait,
he's not going into anything too special. Just a junk destroyer.
I never said that resolved.
Oh, sorry.
No, like your synchro summon's fine. I'm just saying that junk destroyer never resolved.
Oh, you're gonna solemn it?
Better. You may have banned Vanity's Emptiness, but there's still one more special summon floodgate in this format. Get that junk destroyer out of here, buddy!
Oh, interesting.
You forget we hadn't banned this piece of shit yet.
That's because none of us have bothered to use this piece of shit. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna turn that sideways.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. I can't believe this is actually going to get mileage, but I'm actually going to normal summon Mammoth Graveyard.
Oh, that's just salt in the wound.
Battle. I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup on aisle 5 here.
Alright.
I think this is the first time Mammoth Graveyard has ever gotten a kill in Progression Series, including in LOB format.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Go. What is
All
this
right.
game? Are we even playing Yu-Gi-Oh?
We're
All
playing
3 games! Finds Pot of Greed, all 3 games.
Okay.
If you find Pot of Greed all 3 games and I still win this match,
I'm gonna be mad. Alright, let's Smoke Signal.
Smoke Signal's fine.
I will add Kagemusha to hand.
Kagemusha's fine.
I will Rhoda.
Rhoda's fine.
Let's see. The annoying part to this is the fact that oppression is not a once per turn.
Correct. Like, this card is such an oppressive floodgate.
It really is. Let's see.
Nice extra deck, idiot!
The problem is, this is also working on the one deck that actually relies on the extra deck. Well, one of the ones that rely heavily on it. I will add Kizan.
Kizan is fine.
Alright, since you control a monster and I don't.
I will take the 800.
Alright.
I gotta keep you off of a board state, because I think the longer this game goes in the current state, the worse it gets for me.
I think so. Alright, I'm gonna normal summon Kizan.
That I can't oppression.
And Kizan's gonna take care of the graveyard.
Sure, that's fine. I take 6.
Alright.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. I do have another one. Because I keep drawing all my garnets, apparently. Battle. 7.
Alright, so 7.
It'll be 7 and 12.
Yeah.
Go.
Draw. Standby, main. That does give an option. Okay. Okay. This leads to an interesting question. I'm assuming it doesn't work the way I think it would. I'm going to set a card, and then I'm going to set a monster and pass.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. Witch of the Black Forest.
Okay.
Battle. I could try to push for lethal here, but that's also really greedy.
I wish you did.
So then this will be 23.
Yep.
Go.
Alright. Okay. I'm going to activate 6 Samurai United.
United's fine.
I will summon Kagemusha.
Not much I can do about that. I mean, you get a draw.
Yes, I do, and I need something.
I think you needed, exactly a board wipe.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't do it. I have asceticism, and I drew a Sakuretsu, but that's not enough to protect me.
Yeah, this was a bluff. My hand was Summoner Monk and Elias. So some of the cool stuff that you didn't get to see that actually has really neat synergy with this deck is Element Saurus becomes a 2K with any Evol.
Oh, that's actually kind of neat.
I was running out of playable dinosaurs because there aren't that many playable dinosaurs since a lot of the good Evolsaurs like Diplo are all at rare, so it makes it difficult to get multiples of them.
Right.
Otherwise, I would be maxing out on Diplo. You might also be wondering why I am playing Mammoth Graveyard instead of Kabazals.
Do you not have any?
I opened 1 Kabazals, I opened 1 two-headed King Rex, I opened 1 Urabi.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah, those are all commons.
Now, granted, Mammoth Graveyard's still not a bad one, because, we both have access to Zen Mine, so, that's still a thing.
Yeah, Mammoth Graveyard gives me rank 3 plays. What other things that were really... I think you saw most of the deck. I do have 3 Westlow, though. This is the primary reason why I played the deck is because of having 3 Westlow. Westlow basically lets me get instant board presence.
Right.
And this card is a super rare, by the way.
Oh, okay.
It's really good.
That's actually kind of nice to see then. Yeah, honestly, I'm not entirely surprised that I lost that one, especially once you had the floodgate up.
You lost.
I'm definitely gonna have to keep that in mind.
Game 3, you just lost to Oppression, is what happened.
Yeah, which, well, Oppression's probably not gonna last too much longer because Yeah, we completely forgot. I completely forgot that's a thing just because of the fact that we never used it.
It's just a sacky one of at this point, rather than having to deal with Vanity's emptiness.
True.
The only deck construction issue I had is I wasn't playing enough spells for Summoner Monk. I boarded more spells in, and I still did not have a spell for Summoner Monk. But that's all the deck is just rank 4. It's rank 4 spam, and you might also recall that I actually do have an Exabeetle as well. It shouldn't come up too often, but I can make this off of Elias and just any 6, because this deck actually has quite a few 6s. I really wish I had pulled a Souza, but I did not pull a Souza, unfortunately. Souza is the big boss monster for the archetype, and it's super scary. It's huge, and it's really hard to kill.
Right.
But I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of surprised that this got there.
Yeah, admittedly, I'm a little surprised too, especially with how game 1 went so well for me, but I mean, it also didn't help your case that you had bricked pretty hard too. So
I bricked super bad. I'm
sure you're aware that I have this, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this.
Yeah, well, obviously you have Gateway, because Gateway had a common reprint somewhere, I believe.
It might have, I don't remember, but I actually had pulled this during Storm of Ragnarok.
I figured
it was actually one of the few cards out of this deck that I didn't wildcard. I had to wildcard 2 of the Kageki. I had to wildcard all 3 of the Keyzon. I had to wildcard both copies of Smoke Signal. And I had to I believe I had to wildcard my Asceticisms too. Like, I pretty much started this deck with nothing.
I mean, that's going to be a terrifying deck, and even banning Shien is not going to fix the deck.
Yeah.
Like they lose a boss monster. To be fair, also with the consistency issue that you didn't see your Gateway, it took me a lot of effort to see Rabbit.
Right.
Because I didn't.
Well, that's the thing. Gateway is like intentionally hard to summon, like to find an out to. In fact, it took them until Link era to give them a way to actually get it. And even then, you had to give up 2 6 Samurai monsters in order to summon it.
Yeah, because you have to
and then discard another card afterwards too. So I mean,
it's a lot of effort.
It really took an effort.
It's a lot of effort, but the real thing that I was missing to play this deck before was just Rabbit.
So pull wise, I actually didn't pull too much. I did get a Lightning Chidori, which was kind of nice, but I don't really have a deck to work with it right now.
Oh my god, the set was so terrible for me. I got 2 of the Noble Knight Xyz.
Ouch. That's kind of rough.
You want to know what else was really crazy? I didn't even get a Tanky until, like, pack 14.
Yeah, Tanky was kind of, like, limiting, like, crazy limiting. I only got 2.
Well, Tanky goes all over the ban list, so having 2 is fine.
But I also got this, too.
Oh, breakthrough skill, sick!
That was one of the few cards that I was like. The funny thing was, if I couldn't remember for a while if it was this or if it was Skill Successor. I couldn't remember which one did which one.
Skill Successor is the combat trick, but breakthrough skill is sick. Like, this card's disgusting.
Unfortunately, since it's a one-of, it's going to be a lot harder to make good use of, but it at least can pull a couple of useful things here and there. Now, I did have a thought during the duel of maybe trying to find a way to summon out Shien, because then I could just negate Royal Oppression. The issue was just the fact of, how am I going to get the monsters out to get to Shien?
And at that point, if you Shien to negate Royal Oppression, then I can just make any. Then you destroy Royal Oppression, and then I can just make any Xyz to out the Shien.
Yep. Well, not even that. You could just turn around and ram Utopia into it, and that's it too.
No, because at that point you could also, like, even if you out the Utopia, I can just make any Xyz.
Yeah, it's not like the deck bricked on me necessarily, so it does. I do feel like this deck has a good chance of doing something, which is nice.
I still think this was a fantastic set.
Oh yeah,
it was a lot closer than I was expecting it to be. But with that. We have some business to attend to, so we'll see you for that.
Yep.
So this was a really big duel because there are some very powerful promos that were on the line. There were a couple of magazine promos that we'd like to go over first. The first one is going to be number 50 Black Ship of Corn, and the second is going to be number 40 Gimmick Puppet of Strings. Because I have a very powerful rank 4 engine, I would like to supplement that rank 4 engine with a copy of number 50 Black Ship of Corn.
And honestly, I'm not surprised at all. This is a fairly solid card. This thing saw competitive play when it first came out, and honestly, it's a really good and solid card.
It stays in extra decks for a while, too.
Right, and especially given the fact that it bypasses destruction protection, that really makes a good difference for it.
Oh yeah, it's huge that it can... It's huge that it can bypass destruction protection, and it's another number monster, too, which is very relevant, and which is very relevant through Primal Origin specifically.
Yep. Which means that leaves me with number 40, Gimmick Puppet of Strings, which is a rank 8, so it's going to be a lot harder to actually try to make a use of this card.
At least it's generic.
Yeah, at least it's generic, so there's always a possibility.
And then we have a third wave of 2012 tins, one of the few times there were 3 waves. And the promos in here are not really that great except for 2 of them. 2 of them are very, very powerful, but the one that I'm most interested in, and as you can imagine, after today's deck being played, the one that I'm going to be interested in most is going to be Photon Strike Bouncer.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not entirely surprised.
Photon Strike Bouncer.
The thing I like about this, though, is that at least, yeah, it negates the effect, but it at least doesn't destroy Shien, which is going to be a huge benefit to me. That being said, 2700 versus 2500, I'm going to have to figure something out in that regard.
At that point, I just run over to Shien.
Yeah.
And then obviously you have Steel Swarm Roach, which is a very, very powerful rank 4.
It is, and like it sucks that it's only 1900 attack, but at the same time, it is a pretty solid card on its own. But that being said, though, I don't know, because it's going to be interesting because we are getting to the point where synchro summoning is going to be a little less common, so its effect might not end up being as useful in this regard. We'll have to wait and see, because it is a good card nonetheless.
And then you obviously have Roach, and then the rest of these cards are not very good. One of them is a Prophecy card, which we're obviously not going to use because Prophecy is one of the highest rarity archetypes in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! And then we won't be able to really play Infernity either. So Endless Decay, at the very least, could be used as a rank 5 engine. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that, and then you can grab whichever meme card you want.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm going to go ahead with Infernity Barrier because as much as I doubt I'm ever going to make use of this, it at least is a good card and usable, whereas Prophecy Destroyer, even in its own archetype, it's kind of meh.
Oh, it's bad. This is just a terrible card.
Yeah, so I mean, we at least have those going for us.
We do. I was not expecting to get a win with that deck, but we somehow got there. So for my common craft, I'm actually going to grab another copy of Madolche Croissant. I only opened 1 card of this, and I do have a Madolche core, so I could wind up playing that in a little bit, but for now, this is my best bet. I do have my extra craft for winning, so hopefully we'll get something a little bit better than a common. I would take just about anything besides a common. Looks like we're going to get the rare. Yes, and we are going to get a rare. I'm super happy about this. I know what I'm crafting. So because this Evol deck was so powerful and it worked really well, I'm going to add a little bit more density and a little bit more consistency to the deck by making a second copy of Diplo. Because being able to not only have more names, but being able to pop back row is really, really helpful. So I'm going to lock in my craft being a second copy of Evolsar Diplo. And that'll be a wrap for today's episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression Series. Join us next time when we reach the end of Yu-Gi-Oh! With Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy and the Dragon Rulers. Until then, see you around.